Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. I'm your friend Insect. So today we are going to nerd the flutter. No, I'm not gonna nerd the flutter because the flutter is actually quite simple. You don't have to read a book to be able to get started to use it. What I really care about is iOS. How can I build an iOS application with it? Yeah, so let's get started. In this chapter, you will learn how to use the Xcode and the TestFlight to distribute your Flutter app's iOS version. Unlike the Android, apps can be sideloaded onto iOS devices to distribute your app to users and testers. You have to go to App Store Connect, Apps Developer Portal for the App Store. TestFlight allows you to send apps to testers and gather feedback from both your internal team and the outside world. Well, in short words, that is all your applications must go through the App Store. That's a limitation the Apple company gave to you guys. In this way, it got some benefits for developers, also got some drawback for all of us who use this system. The benefits is the developer could get more money from their applications. Well, the drawback is that the whole system may not that open to anyone. Alright, let's go on. For this chapter, you'll need to use MAC with Xcode installed. You also need a valid app developer program account to access the App Store. If you are following along with your app, open it and keep using it with this chapter. If not, locate the projects folder for this chapter and open the starter folder. Run your app on an iOS simulator to set up the necessary fields in the iOS folder. Creating the sign. It's time to leave the Android Studio or VS Code and move over to Xcode. Open the workshop file. iOS Runner XC workspace. This workspace includes the main app projects and the pods dependencies you need to build the app. In the project navigator, check if there's a folder, a row, next to the pods. If not, close the Xcode project. Return to the Android Studio and run your app on an iOS simulator. This will pull out all those required files. When you are done, reopen that. To be honest, I had never seen such a window before, and I have never seen a runner kind of thing. So to be honest, this can be quite challenging because I even don't know how to, start an iOS simulator or kind of things like that. So what I'm going to do is to open a VNC, which is an iOS project. Let me see. Here I got the VNC server installed and running on the iOS machine. What I want to do is to do a remote control for that machine. And here we go. This is what you say. I'll just go to the guest users. From there, we get so many different challenges. The first one is we have to install the Flutter. But now I already have a Flutter folder or directory right in there. And if we go to the bin file, we could see the Flutter executable file. Alright, so we need to add this path into the environment variable so that we could use the Flutter program whenever we want in a terminal. So to be honest, we need to copy this line of code and go to our terminal if we have one. Yeah, here we go. This is our terminal. What we are going to do, or what I'm gonna do, is to say where I am with that path. Sorry, how can I do a path? Here we go. This is a path. I'm gonna get into it. For now, we get an empty file, right? But we're gonna add something to it. For example, I'm gonna add this line of code into our terminal. Okay, Then we need to change something. For example, change the path for it. Yeah, I don't really know the path yet. Go to the flutter. Here we go. We need to get this folder address. How can we do that? If I double click this, nothing would happen. Sorry. Then how can I do that? I just want to copy the path for it. Yes, well, I was wondering if I could just open a new window. Okay, we could. So we could go to the window and run the print out working directory command, and we'll get the path that we need. Then I'm gonna pass that path into our editor. Then I'm gonna save it. Okay, for now, if we restart our terminal, let me turn it off and restart our terminal, we should be able to run the flutter command. No, why cannot do that? It is said that MAC/OS, whatever system, is defaulted to use Z shell, so we need to change this file. Oh, that's fact. So let me say first we are going to copy this line of code. Then we will try to edit the .zshrc file. From there, I'm gonna copy the same command that we have used before. Then let me just restart the bash window. And now if we run the flutter, we'll get it right. Yeah. And I can even say flutter way. No, that's not right. It's about the flutter version, I guess. Yeah, here we go. We got the flutter installed on our computer or at our computer. That's awesome. Yeah, I start to think about one thing, which is why I cannot change the whole page to English. Anyway, let me go through it. You could just treat those string as alien language. You could just think it as that. To be honest, you don't have to really understand it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. We could get the English version of that text. We could say, for example, here, configure the Xcode command line tools to use the newly installed version of Xcode by running the following from the command line. Yeah, to be honest, here as you could say, we got 3 methods to get the Xcode installed. The simplest way is to install the Xcode by the MAC App Store. You could go to the App Store, and from there, we could do a search for the Xcode application. And here we go, we got our Xcode, and I already installed that editor. I will sync it as an editor. Then for the first time, if you want to run your Xcode kind of stuff, you need to agree those agreements by using this line of code. So let me see if it's working. Here's the case. I just forgot about my admin password, so I probably couldn't be able to run this command. To be honest, this computer isn't belong to me. It's not my computer. It's just a computer from my company. So in your MAC computer, you need to use the following command to run the simulator. Let me try it out to see if we can get it work. To be honest, after I did the running of open simulator, nothing really happened. I see nothing. Was that a normal thing? Here, I could say a simulator right in here, but I do not see any window. Let me show you. Here, as you can see, we got a simulator launched, but I didn't see any window out of it. Okay, I guess the main reason for it is that this MAC is quite old, because as you could say, it was produced in 2017. It's an quite old computer, and so and it's only got let's say 2 core. Yeah, this is a configuration for it. It's an quite old computer, so we may not be able to run the simulator inside of it because I still see nothing from this simulator kind of stuff. Let me switch the version to iPhone 12. Okay, now I see a window. It looks like it's starting to launch, but it's gonna take some time. Okay, before we get started, I would like to just download some source code from the internet. This is the source code for this book, for this tech book. What we could do is to download a zip pressed file, then transfer this file into our iOS system. Okay, here's as you could say here, we get an iPhone system or iOS system running on our computer. Sorry about my pronunciation. And it just looks like a real phone. It was quite good. Okay, for now I was thinking about maybe you could just run a task. Let me say we're gonna say flutter. No flutter installed. Let me try to install a plugin. Here we go. We indeed have a flutter plugin installed. How can I run a test? Okay, guys. Finally, I realized how can I just run the command? We just could hold the Shift and Alt with a P. Yeah, with this command we could search for the flutter and we'll see a bunch of different tasks. For this one, I'm gonna create a new application project, so I choose the first one. Yeah, after that, it says that it cannot find a Flutter SDK. Please ensure the Flutter is installed. So we need to locate that SDK because we indeed downloaded that to our local storage to the Flutter folder. After we did that choosing, let me do this again. It will start to ask us to select a folder to create that new project. I save it into the documents file, and I'm going to create a folder called projects. Yeah, after that, it will start to ask us the name for this project. I'll just say it's a demo. After that, it will start to create some new files for us. When it's done, you will see a bunch of files, just as you know before, if you have never developed an iOS application. Then here we get some choice. We could choose iPhone devices, or we could choose something else. But for now, we'll be fine with the iPhone devices selected. Okay. For now, we only have an iPhone device here. Yeah, after that, let me just run the F file to say what we will get. Okay. For now, as you could say, we get our Flutter application running inside of the iOS system. And I could even change something. For example, I could change the title of our application. I could change it to Install XO app, and we save it. That was kind of strange. Let me save it by hand. I collect the file, I collect the save. After that, now as you would say, in there we got Install XO's app. Great. So for now, all we have known is a method for develop an iOS application, but that's not the hardest part. To be honest, this is the simplest part of an development for an application. The most difficult part is how can you compile your iOS application and send it to your user by going through the App Store. That's the most difficult and hard part. So let me just reading those texts to see if we can understand it. Right, it's time to leave the Android Studio and move over to Xcode. Open the workspace file, iOS, Runner, whatever. This workspace includes the main app projects and the dependencies you need to build the app. In the project navigator, check if there's a folder arrow next to the PODs. For now, if we go to the iOS part, I could say it's a runner. I didn't say anything related to the PODs. Select the runner in the project navigator to open the project editor. Select the runner target and open the general tab. For the app, whatever, it's important to check the bundle identifier. This has to be unique for your app if you want to follow along with the tutorial to test out the process. That is not submit. You still have to change the existing value. Try using a written unique string if you are out of ideas. Guys, I think those stuff are totally nonsense. So I'm gonna go to the official document, Flutter iOS building. Okay, from there, let me do this. So we need to first register our application on AppStone Connect. Manage your app's lifecycle on AppStone Connect. You define your app plan and description, add a screenshot, set pricing and message, and manage the releases to the AppStone and test flight. Registering your app involves two steps: registering a unique bundle ID and creating an application record on AppStone Connect. Register a bundle ID for every iOS application is associated with a bundle ID, a unique identifier. Register it with Apple. To register a bundle ID for your app, follow those steps below. So first you have to open the App IDs page of your developer accounts. Click the Add to create a new bundle ID. Enter an app plan, select the explicit app ID and enter an ID. Select the services your app uses, then click the Continue button. On the next page, confirm the details and click the Register to register your bundle ID. And create an application record on AppStone Connect. First, let me say you have to open the AppStone Connect in your browser. The second one is on the App Connect landing page. Click My Apps and so on and so forth. I think those stuff are quite simple for now. Review Xcode project settings. This step covers reviewing the most important settings in the Xcode workspace. For detailed procedures and whatever, see that page. So we'll still have to use the Xcode editor. Open the Runner X workspace in your iOS folder and select the general table. In the identity selection, change something. For example, the bundle identifier, which is the bundle ID. It's just some settings related to this page, right? You just have to fulfill some information about your application. After you did everything, you could just use this command to create a build file. Okay, that's simple. So to be honest, what this UI or user interface does is to convert your configurations into a more machine-readable configurations. For example, this configures. And then in the end, after you set it up, every settings that you need, you just use the flutter command, which is this one, to build your application. And that's all. But the most important thing for you to do is to first you will need to have a app developer ID. It's different than a user ID, I guess. So what we need to do here is to create an app developer program account. How can we do that? We could just open this link. Okay, that was interesting. Why cannot actually visit this website? That makes sense. Let me see where it could be wrong. Okay, if we connect it without using our VPN, and we would be fine. Alright, we need to trust this browser. It seems like it's quite easy for us to just click the submit button to create an app developer account by using your old account. But I do not want to do it here because I think it's very difficult for me to do this right now. For now, I'm using a fake account for the app company, I guess. I couldn't use that account as a developer account because I'm in China, and the China system, I mean the China's app system is different than the whole world system. So if I do this registering with this fake account, in the end, I couldn't get it right. It will not get right, so I just leave it here. But as long as you know, you could just do those stuffs with some simple clicks, according to the document of the flutter, and that's all you need, and you are ready to go. You could just start to create your application and try to publish it into the App Store. And that's all. And I hope you guys love this video. To be honest, I don't love it. It's just a simple introduction about how can you develop an iOS application with a MAC computer. I believe that some people would like to call this computer MAC than the iOS. The iOS means the Apple's mobile phone, but the MAC means Apple's desktop computer. They are two different things. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys love this video, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye.